30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. Hard to believe the National Football League is with us. How about that?
How about it?
NFL season starts tonight.
Football's all the way back.
Man, hard to believe. Weather's good. Life is good. Let's get right to it. Since it is football season, we begin our show with Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update, which is brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that certainly can happen. Dial her up, 615-969-4350. Terry, what is going on out at Titans Central?
Well, George, for the second straight day, Harold Landry, only a partial participant in practice. He went through the stretch period, then went inside. Yesterday, he was listed on the injury report with an abdomen injury. So not the knee that he dealt with last year that cost him all of last season, but a new issue, an abdomen injury.
Terry, we know how important he was a year ago. With him not in there, they were nowhere near the defense. If you think going back to the Bengal playoff game where they had 9 sacks, which I love to say is 9 times. First of all, how important is Landry? We know vital. But secondly, are you sounding the alarm bells at all as far as Sunday?
Yeah, I think at this point you have to start being concerned a little bit. The telltale sign will be how much he's able to do on Friday. But yeah, I think it does start to become a little bit concerning, the fact that he's only been able to do limited work 2 days in a row in practice. The good news is they've gotten Arden Key back, and he looks like he's on track to be ready to go, barring any setbacks. And it makes this acquisition that they got of this kid from the Bears on cutdown day, Trevis Gibson, makes him a little bit more important because it gives them another pass rusher as depth if Harold Landry ends up being limited, or worst case scenario, maybe not even ready to play.
Can the young guy from the Bears play 60 plays if he has to?
And if he had to, they also got Rashad Weaver that they can rotate in there, and they've got the rookie Caleb Murphy, who had 4 sacks in the preseason. He's probably a little bit green in terms of being ready for full NFL duty, but they've got some rotational pieces they could put in there if they needed to. In fact, one of the things that they've talked about is trying to cut Landry's snaps a little bit, because he's been a guy that played 85-90% of the snaps when he was healthy. And he's probably coming off that ACL, even though he's good to go in that regard. They probably would want to be a little bit more cautious with him and maybe not run him for a full game, but be able to rotate a guy or two in to give him a break.
Okay, I'll let you sort of steer this. What else?
Well, George, the other thing, DeAndre Hopkins was not out there at the start of practice, but Mike Vrabel apparently said that he would be out there later on in the practice. So not sure if what he'll be listed on the injury report with. It could be something as simple as, did not, not injury related, that sort of thing. But looks like it's not going to be a full day for Hopkins as well, which certainly is going to strike fear into the hearts of Titans fans everywhere. But at this juncture, I don't think it's much to be concerned about.
God forbid that we need to know this, but Terry, are we basically going to find out who the backup is at quarterback if and when they're needed?
I mean, they'll have to make an announcement before kickoff who they're designating as the third quarterback, so that if Ryan Tannehill leaves the game, they'll put the second string guy in there. And then they have to, in terms of what they do, Vrabel might give that up tomorrow when he speaks to the media. I'm certain that we will ask him about that, but we will see if he gives that up or if we have to wait until Sunday, an hour and a half before kickoff.
Okay. Anything else on your end?
And that's about it for today, George. We'll see tomorrow. It'll be fun to watch football tonight. Football that really counts when the
Yeah.
Lions and the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you as always. Good report.
All right, thanks.
Terry McCormick, his daily Titans update brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that is absolutely possible. Dial her up at 615-969-4350. Let's head to Murfreesboro. Say hello to Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, how are you?
I'm great, George. How you doing?
Good. So let me just put this one out there right off the bat. We got an NFL game tonight, and to my way of thinking, and you might disagree with this, the three most important Kansas City Chiefs are Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones on the defensive end. If they are missing Kelce and Jones, do they win tonight?
I mean, they're still really good. When you still got Patrick Mahomes, George, you've always got a chance. I mean, the guy's just he does things that obviously I could not do. He can make things happen when things are not there, and he makes good decisions, as I always talk about. He makes good decisions when things break down. So yeah, they can win without those guys. It would definitely be that's definitely Patrick Mahomes' security blanket is Travis Kelce, because he is by far the best tight end. I don't know by far, but he's the best tight end in the National Football League. The guy is unbelievable. You can stick two guys on him, he still gets open, and on third down, that's who Patrick Mahomes is looking for. Now, Chris Jones, it's a little different because they're known for an offensive team. Defensively, they were pretty good last year, but it was largely because of Chris Jones. I mean, there's not many guys other than like an Aaron Donald that can get pressure from the inside like Chris Jones can. So, yeah, they can win without him, but it'll certainly be much easier with him.
Billy, what was it? Kelce had, was it 14 catches in the playoff game against Jacksonville?
Yeah, something crazy.
So, yeah, crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
Couldn't cover him. He knows when to hook up when it's zone. He knows when to run when it's man. It's hard to teach guys that, and he just sometimes it doesn't even look like he runs the right route that's called. But he and Patrick Mahomes have this telepathy to where they just know where the other guy is going to be, and Patrick Mahomes just throws it, and that's gonna hurt him quite a bit tonight if Travis Kelce does not play.
Well, and he's such a good decoy too. I mean, a lot of what he does, a lot of his strengths are the fact that he draws two, maybe even three guys sometimes. So you talked about the telepathy. Mahomes looks over, he's double covered. All right, let's dump it down. It's just he's as good of a decoy as he is a talent. So we'll see tonight. 7:20 kickoff. Kansas City favored by 4.5. Kelce's a game time decision apparently, but Chris Jones, I'm hearing George will not play. That's what that's what I've seen. But again, that's
he hadn't signed.
He hadn't signed, has he?
Right. Well, I know you were asking if they both. Right. Jones definitely won't, but Kelce's still up in the air. So we'll see if both of them aren't going to be able to go. Also in the NFL, Rams head coach Sean McVay said Cooper Kupp will not play on Sunday against the Seahawks as he continues to deal with a hamstring injury. He said, I know he wants to be out there badly, and we want him to be out there, but we don't want to rush anything.
When he's healthy, he's as good as there is. I hope for him.
He's really good.
Yeah, that he can get back to that level. He's fun to watch.
Really good.
Also, the Cardinals have named former Tennessee quarterback Josh Dobbs as their starter, who won the job over Clayton Tune, a fifth-rounder out of Houston. They've got to be tanking for Caleb Williams. I mean, Josh Dobbs, they're sending him out to the Wolves.
Well, it feels that way. And it also feels like what really is going on is that they've had enough of Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing to me too. Like I like Kyler Murray. I think he's a good player, but he got into some altercations with Cliff Kingsbury, and I know he's not the coach anymore, but still, it hasn't panned out for him like you thought it would, or people hoped. I know the Cardinal fans hoped it would, so it just not a good situation for Kyler Murray.
You know, when they got in the playoffs 2 years ago and the Rams just ripped them to shreds in that playoff game, from that moment on, it feels like the Arizona franchise just has fallen apart again.
And their new coach, Gannon, it's come out that he's kind of a weirder guy. You know, he's not he hasn't been in the NFL for a long time, and I don't know how the players are really reacting to him. So they're in kind of an interesting spot right now. You know, you said, George, they've gotten rid of Murray, or at least, you know, that's what it feels like. And they've got Josh
Arizona's a different place to play. I remember going out there years ago when Bruce was the coach, and I went over there to their facility, and they still had that old facility, and they've done some renovations to it, obviously, but they're not they're not. Let's just say this: they're not the best paying franchise in the sport. Let's just say that.
One word, Bidwell.
Another word, correct.
Bingo.
George, let's go to baseball. Biggest upset of the Major League season happened last night. The Braves lost to the Cardinals as minus 365 favorites at Caesar Sportsbook. Minus 350 favorites or bigger were 5-0 entering the season.
Now, let's explain to people what that means.
Yes,
if you were to go to the window and say, okay,
the Cardinals are going to win, that you're picking Cardinals money.
No,
line,
let's
right?
go the other way.
I say you're saying
let's
Braves.
say the Braves. You want to put $100 bet on the Braves because the Braves, in theory, are the obvious team to win. If you bet 100, you know you'll get back 100. You'll get back 100. But if you take the Braves, the team that you figure on paper is going to win, but they don't, you're going to lose 360.
Right.
Ouch.
That's
George,
the minus 360.
He's very up on the gambling atmosphere of our world right now. He's there.
Kelly, I've been to Vegas.
There's a reason they've got the.
I know how it works. The chandeliers, you know, as they say, if you've ever been out there, you're paying for the chandeliers.
You specifically, George.
I don't know about me specifically. It's been a while since I've been out there.
But in that game, Spencer Strider was credited with the loss, but he also became the first pitcher to record 250 strikeouts this season, which I thought was interesting. He could become the first pitcher to strike out 300 since Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander back in 2019. So
this is
Strider,
the kind of performance, though, that they cannot have from him, whether it's game one or game two, when they get in the playoffs, because he got rocked around pretty good a year ago in the playoffs. He's had a remarkable year and a half, but they need him to come up big. If they're going where they hope they're going, he's got to come up big.
He does, and this is playoff scenario season, right? With all these teams battling down the stretch with the wild card races. So I'm sure we'll keep track of those. Also with the Braves, Mike Soroka is done for the season, but he did receive a bit of good news in that his latest injury won't require surgery. And the hits just keep coming for him. They placed him on the 15-day IL after another setback, but it turns out his season is over, which, I mean, probably smart, you know, get sort of a head start on your off-season work and maybe get him back next year. But God, you hope he's able to get back.
I think I feel bad for anybody that goes through what he has in the last 3 or 4 years. Kelly, he has not been very lucky. He's had 2, ruptures of Achilles tendon.
Mm-hmm.
And now this deal, and I happened to see it a couple of nights ago, where when he walks off the mound, he had gotten ripped around pretty good, and he shows the trainers his fingers and basically says they're numb and thus we are where we are.
Tough.
Yeah, that's too bad, man. That's so his fingers were numb, George. So he's got something obviously going on in the shoulder or something.
Yeah, what did they call it, Billy?
I think you were right. I didn't get specifically, but I mean, I know Achilles was the original injury. I don't know.
I can't imagine having an Achilles injury like that being a pitcher too, man. That's a long process of rehabbing now.
But he had
Achilles.
it twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking
That is bad luck.
of pitchers, Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias has been placed on administrative leave by Major League Baseball just 3 days after he was arrested on suspicion of felony domestic violence.
And the question is now, what does this mean for the Dodgers in the playoffs? Man, they can ill afford to lose him, but this is really serious stuff. And his future is really up in doubt. This is the second domestic violence thing that he's at least been, accused of over the years. I want to say the right words on this. We'll just wait and see, but it's serious.
Yeah, back to Soroka, forearm inflammation, according to ESPN. So that's what he was dealing with. Lastly here, George, Kim Mulkey, who led LSU women's basketball to the national title back in April. She has agreed to terms on a new 10-year deal worth $32 million.
Her bank account is better than ours.
It's the richest total contract in women's college basketball history.
Good for her.
And there have been some good coaches. There's one right now, Dawn Staley at South Carolina. Of course, Gino Auriemma. But LSU, I mean, it feels like they are made of money. They are just printing money.
This is a breakthrough contract on the women's side.
Absolutely.
And they're going to win it again. I mean, have y'all seen how they've reloaded?
They might.
It is ridiculous. They're just as good, if not better, as they were last year.
We got a bunch of transfer girls.
Yes, they got somebody. I forget where they. But Kelly, they picked up 2 studs out of the portal, and but it'll also be cool. Caitlin Clark is back, so women's college basketball is going to be fun, especially with that little rivalry with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. So all of a sudden, we're talking women's hoops.
Billy, are you gonna watch it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched. I think I started watching the Final Four when Iowa got to the final. She's incredible. I mean, it's like you're watching, not a man, but I mean, it's like you're watching legitimate athletes that you haven't really seen at the women's level.
Well, the numbers that they got off that Final Four were astounding.
Yeah, crazy.
Way past what normally has happened. Billy, we done?
We're good.
Okay, after the break, some of you may remember, I want to say it was 6 weeks ago, but don't hold me to it, that we had Michael Bratton on.
It was was it the week after Media Days? I think it might have been.
Yeah, it might have been. Anyway, Michael does That SEC podcast, and he's very entertaining. You will enjoy him after the break. Underdog picks at 3 o'clock. Good stuff coming on the opening day of the National Football League. Stay with us. Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
I'm Watson Brown.
I'm Kelly Holcomb.
I'm Billy Derrick.
We're the George Plaster Show. We've been Nashville's best sports talk for the last 30 years. And you know what? We still are.
Catch us live weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time in Nashville on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, the podcast version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser-engraved Yeti cups, and knives. Recognize your hard-working team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs. We're back. We had Michael Bratton on with us, I want to say 5-6 weeks ago. Very entertaining, the host of That SEC podcast. And this is certainly a good time to bring him back up. Michael, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on with us. So now we've had a little time to kind of analyze really what was week one in the college football season. In the SEC, what was your biggest surprise?
Just how disappointing the league was in all the marquee games, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Lost every meaningful non-conference matchup. So I think the SEC's got a lot to prove week two with a lot of big non-conference matchups coming up.
Let's start for a second with some of the disappointments. Florida looked awful in the game against Utah, and it sort of begs the question long-term, is Billy Napier the right fit at Florida? What do you think?
Well, I guess it just depends on what you mean, because I don't really believe in fits. I believe in winning, and he's not winning. I don't think Nick Saban was a fit for LSU. I certainly don't think guys like let's see. I mean, Brian Kelly, of course, he embarrassed himself the other night also, but not a fit at LSU. But you win. We don't care about fits in the SEC. We care about can you win the games. Florida's not been doing it. He lost every meaningful rivalry game last season. And, I mean, they looked pretty pathetic, but there's a reason why I had Florida number 6 in my SEC East ballot. I didn't think they'd be very good at all. Getting outclassed by a walk-on quarterback and a Utah team featuring several key players out, though. I mean, it was disturbing. They didn't look prepared. They didn't look ready for the environment. They talked a great game. All camp reports were that, this was a team that was going to be ready, and they were anything but ready. So Yeah, I mean, Billy Napier's got a heck of a lot to prove.
Let's go to the LSU Sunday night deal for a second. They're right in it midway through the third quarter and then just fall apart. Kind of give me your thoughts. What do you make of that?
Well, it kind of looked like they quit, which was pretty disturbing for such a big game that was hyped up as everybody had it as the game of the week. And yeah, I mean, it was troubling. As someone that picked LSU to win the West, I'm certainly not very confident in that now. I realize that wasn't a conference game, so it doesn't factor in. But Jaden Daniels looked off. He looked like not on the same page with his receivers, which was troubling. I thought the offensive line was supposed to be a strength of LSU. It looked like a weakness. You know, they had a couple goal-to-goal situations that come away with 0 points. And we could sit here and what if the entire game. But had they cashed those opportunities in, I think they could have won that game. But as soon as they didn't, and this was early in the game, I knew they were not going to win. Because you can't go into a matchup like that, go into the red zone, goal-to-goal situations, and come away with 0 points multiple times. You're just not going to win. The margin for error is slim in a game like that. So it's deeply disturbing, but still, I'm not ready to write off LSU just yet.
We've got a matchup this week and there they are, two guys that know each other very well, Alabama and Texas in Tuscaloosa. If you think to the times that Alabama has lost at home in recent years, a Johnny Manziel, a Joe Burrow, does Texas have what it takes to truly go in there and win?
Not based on what they showed week one. Now, they were playing a lesser opponent, Rice, but I'd heard so much, all this hype about these quarterbacks and the receivers and the tight end and the offensive line, and they did not impress me at all, again, against Rice. Now, the defense sure as heck looked good. I think that's the real matchup of this game, Alabama's offense versus Texas defense. I think that is the key matchup, but I really want to see this Texas offensive line. How do they hold up? Can they run the ball on Alabama? Alabama's front seven, I don't think, is quite as formidable as most people are anticipating or expecting that a Nick Saban defense is. So there's room to take advantage, but again, they couldn't get much push against Rice. So I don't expect Texas to come into Tuscaloosa and push Alabama around. So I don't know. I've talked to several different people, and it's about 50-50 split of who's going to win this game, Texas or Alabama. So I'm hoping for a good game, but just going based off week one, I don't know how great of a game it'll really be.
What did you think of Milroe?
I mean, he was wildly impressive, and specifically pushing the ball down the field. Now, how good is Middle Tennessee? That's a fair question, but he didn't look like a liability, and he certainly didn't look like I don't know why the competition went so long based on the way he played, and then the other guys come in, and I mean, it was a world of difference. He's an incredible athlete, scoring on the bad snap. I mean, that for most quarterbacks, that's a busted play. You lose 12 yards. He turns it into I believe, a 21-yard rushing touchdown. That was wildly impressive. But again, I'm not trying to put too much stock into what they did against MTSU. They were supposed to beat MTSU. I'm a little more disturbed, to be honest with you. All these Alabama fans in my mentions clamoring that they beat the brakes off MTSU. I mean, back in the day, I mean, that was to be expected, but now it seemed like it was somewhat of a surprise to them.
So I made a point Saturday night to watch Tulane a little bit. It's an intriguing program that used to be down at Vandy's level years ago. This guy, Willie Fitz, has done a terrific job with them, and now they've got this big showdown with Ole Miss. Are they good enough at home to pull that off?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm pulling up some stats I just did. I didn't realize they have the number 2 passing efficiency offense in the country right now. So, but on the flip side, Ole Miss is number 2 in the country in scoring. So, I mean, this truly looks like a strength on weakness matchup. I think this is going to be a very high scoring matchup with Pete Golding being in his first season as defensive coordinator down there at Ole Miss. This is going to be by far his toughest test to date as a member of the Ole Miss program. So, I don't anticipate Tulane's going to be able to get many stops in this ball game. I think Ole Miss will come up with enough to get the win, but I don't know. This has got to be a Tulane Super Bowl type situation. So I'll be very curious to see how difficult they make it for Ole Miss going on the road to Tulane.
I'm with you. It might take 40 for whoever wins it to win it. It's hard to imagine 13-7. We're going to have some points put up in this one.
That's at Tulane, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know why an SEC team's playing at Tulane, but they are.
Yeah, there's probably some backstory we don't know all of the stuff about, but I thought the same thing you did. Kelly Holcomb is with us. You talked to him several weeks ago. Kelly, say hello to Michael.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, doing good, Kelly.
Enjoyed our interview last time, man. I told them guys you're really good, man. But I got to go back to the Florida thing. I was talking to George yesterday. We were talking on the air. Like, why has Florida gotten so bad? I mean, I understand the day of the transfer portal. I'm sure he got a bunch of transfers in, but like, did Dan Mullen do any recruiting, or like, why are they? They're just they look really, really bad the other night, playing against a third string quarterback, and they weren't in the game. And I know they got the kid from Wisconsin, and he didn't. I'm going to give him, because I was a quarterback, and I understand it's a hard position, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But just how bad have they become?
Yeah, and I mean, you can only blame Dan Mullen for so long, particularly in the era of the portal. I mean, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas, on and on and on. You can flip these rosters pretty quickly. I don't think we could be blaming Dan Mullen anymore. I think Dan Mullen probably wins that game. I think he's that good of a coach. I realize, they had soured on him there in Gainesville, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the SEC before long. I still think he's a better coach than probably about half the coaches that are currently in the SEC. But to answer your question, why is Florida so bad? Well, I think they made a major mistake of not flipping the roster when they got there. They basically waited a year for some unknown reason. They put it all on Anthony Richardson, and sometimes he was amazing, sometimes he wasn't. And when he was amazing, he gave them a shot on Saturday. When he wasn't, obviously they were massively disappointing. And I think that looks to be the case once again, but it's even worse because last season they could rely on the ground game. The offensive line was a strength. The offensive line looked like a train wreck against Utah. So they have 2 offensive line coaches. They're having a false start seemingly every possession. Maybe they need 3 offensive line coaches down there. I don't know what in the world is the problem. But, it's not a good look. And the fact, again, that they waited about a year to flip the roster, I think that was a major mistake. And, if you've been following the Florida program for a couple years, they have made one mistake after another at the quarterback position. Jaden Rashada. Ole Miss has got a quarterback that was committed to Florida for a long time. Austin Simmons is his name. He reclassified, and the plan was for him to be on Florida's roster right now. Well, he's on Ole Miss roster. Anthony Richardson, I mean, can't blame him. He was the number 4 pick in the overall draft, but they really needed him back. It's just been one issue after another at the quarterback position, and nothing we've seen from Billy Napier, I think, suggests that he knows what he's doing when it comes to SEC quarterbacks.
Oh, I kind of agree with you. What did you think about the, we're obviously in Vol Nation, in the middle of Vol Nation out here. What did you think about? I know they weren't playing much when Virginia's, they're not a very good football team right now. I don't know where they're going from here, but it looked like Tennessee we all know their offense accolades about last year. They went down the Orange Bowl. Joe Milton played really good. He had a little stretch in there where he didn't play great, but he came back on. But it looks like their defense has gotten a lot faster. It looks like their defense is kind of catching up with the offense of being fast at every position. What did you think about their debut?
Yeah, that's something we talked about on my show all off season. This is going to be the best, deepest, most talented defense that Josh Heupel's had to work with. I think the overall roster is better this year across the board than it was last year. Now, maybe not some of the high-end talent. They don't have a top 10 pick on the offensive line. And I think there's a drop between Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton, obviously. And, Jalen Hyatt was incredible. But I'm talking 1 to 85. I think this is a better overall roster. And the fact that Tennessee, I thought they just looked kind of average, and they won by nearly 40 points. I think that gives you an indication of how good this football team is. And if Joe Milton didn't have a flawless game, he was voted co-offensive SEC Player of the Week for some reason. I don't think he deserved that, but he didn't have a bad game. But I think he could play a lot better, and they're going to need him to, particularly on the road at places like Gainesville and Tuscaloosa, and even home games against Georgia and Texas A&M if Tennessee's going to beat those teams.
Yeah, talk a little bit about this game. I was reading something about it earlier. This game between Auburn and Cal. It looks like a kind of competitive game, and then you get Hugh Freeze over here talking on the other day in his press conference talking about he didn't like going to California. He didn't make the schedule, obviously, but wasn't going to bellyache about it. But it looks like Cal's got a pretty good football team, and I think they had 669 yards of offense the other day, and they got some guys that can. They got a guy that in the Ott kid that can run the football. I know Auburn's got 3 running backs that's really good, probably the strength of their team. But how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. And I pulled up the stats while you were talking there. And again, there's only 1 week of play, and you got to factor in competition. But Cal they were not playing Mercer or Alabama A&M. They played North Texas, which, again, not the greatest, but not the softest team either. They're number 5 in the country right now, 347 rushing yards per game. 58 points. That's number 8 in the country. I think Auburn's defense is going to have their hands full, and I was very impressed with Auburn in their debut. Again, they were kind of playing a weaker team, but very impressed. The quarterbacks, though, I mean, red zone Robbie, he showed up big in the red zone, scored 3 touchdowns, I believe. The backup quarterback, Peyton Thorne, had one really nice throw in the second half, but he looks kind of shaky. If he cannot improve, I would not be surprised at all if Auburn drops this game at Cal.
Yeah, that's kind of that's intriguing to me. I'm interested to see that. So the last one, talk about the Texas A&M Miami game. Surely Miami will be better than they were last year. They had a nail biter last year. I think it was 17-9, but looked like Connor Wegman had a good game and 5 touchdown passes, and just kind of preview that game for us.
Yeah, neither one of these teams could be any worse, could they? I mean, that was just god awful. I mean, it was
5 and 7, both of them.
I mean, last season we should have got some compensation for watching this football game, but I think this year it'll be a little bit better. I was wildly impressed with Texas A&M in the opener against New Mexico. Again, I get it, New Mexico's kind of a garbage team, but they were pushing the ball down the field, utilizing all this talent they have at receiver, and Connor Wegman. I know it's early. I'm trying to get ahead of the hype train, though. I think if he continues to play like I've seen him play, I think he can be a leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy out of the SEC. It's really going to be determined how he does against Alabama if he can live up to that hype. But I don't. And I watched Miami. They were impressive. They were playing the other Miami in week 1. I don't understand how the 2 Miamis can go head to head. I thought that was illegal, but. Miami's got some nice athletes, but not near the quality team that Texas A&M has, and I have no respect for the home field advantage down there at Miami, the Florida Miami, of course. So I think Texas A&M wins this game easily.
And a lot of empty seats there. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, George, just the last thing, and we talked a little bit about LSU, but Brian Kelly, obviously that was the first game, but I'm like you. I felt like those guys quit. And I'm sure there's probably some grumblings down there about all that because he's in a high-profile position. He wanted to take that job, obviously, but does that put him on the hot seat any?
No, because he won so big last year. And again, maybe Florida State. I mean, they may be a top 2 or 3 team in the country.
I think they're really good. Yeah.
They impressed me. I trashed them all off season, and now those fans are living in my mentions. Believe me, I think I got more Florida State fans than SEC. Well, I don't know if I'd call them fans, but more followers than SEC followers at the moment, based on some of the things I said this offseason. So they were wildly impressive. I think LSU can get this cleaned up, but it is troubling, and it's kind of a recipe for disaster when you got 2 quarterbacks and one of them struggling, and everybody's calling for the backup. You got arguably the best defensive player in the country in Harold Perkins, and LSU coaches did an outstanding job of making him a non-factor. Somebody should, I don't know, lose their job, but somebody needs to pay for that. I mean, that was just foolishness, I thought. Harold Perkins, we didn't even hear his name during the FSU game. So get him back into the role he was playing last week, and I think that fixes a lot of LSU's woes. But yeah, they've got a lot to prove. This based on week one. Again, I'm trying not to overreact too much, but this so far looks like the team. There's always one or two that gets billed as a preseason top 10 and doesn't even finish ranked by the end of the year. LSU right now is the leading candidate, I think, to that to happen.
Mike, real quick here, do you have any confidence in Vandy going up to Wake Forest and winning?
Yeah, because I've not been impressed with Vanderbilt so far this season, but they keep winning. And imagine saying that 2 or 3 years ago about Vanderbilt football program. Mm-hmm. So if they can put it together, if they could play 4 quarters of a game, I think they can beat Wake Forest. AJ Swann's got to play a lot better in my mind. I don't know, something's up there. I thought he was going to be, one of the better quarterbacks in the East this year, and he's not looked at. The pass defense has just been a train wreck. But yeah, I mean, I've got not great confidence, but I would not surprise me if Vanderbilt can get that win.
Michael, before you go, for people who maybe are hearing you for the first time, how can they watch your show?
Yeah, appreciate that. We're highest rated SEC show on Apple and Spotify. It's called That SEC Podcast. We're on YouTube. We do YouTube lives shows all the time. In fact, we're doing one here at, every Thursday and Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 Central. And yeah, I'm all over Twitter at SEC Mike.
Beautiful. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Michael Bratton, the host of That SEC Podcast, joining us on the show. He is entertaining.
I like it. I like interviewing him. Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, he says what's on his mind, and it might not what you be wanting him to say, but he says it, and I like it.
Did you see where Nick Saban, I don't know if the word apology is the deal. He jumped all over a question Saturday night from a reporter and kind of did a little bit of a backflip.
Backtrack.
Yeah, backtrack. Thank you. I guess it was yesterday, and it's an interesting deal because coaches, and in a lot of cases rightfully so, feel reporters are trying to jump all over them and look for nothing but negative. And yet on the other hand, reporters have got a job to do, and it gets a little dicey at times.
And I didn't hear that, George. I really didn't. But you can tell. I mean, it's like the Bill Belichick effect. He can't stand dealing with that stuff. A lot of coaches are really good with it. Like James Franklin was really good with it. I mean, you can use that for motivation. You can use that to get things out there. But some guys just I don't know. They just don't like it, and sometimes they say things that they do have to backtrack. I've had to do that before plenty of times myself.
You?
Absolutely.
Really? Anywhere in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I had some situations up in Cleveland where I don't know, it was irritating, and sometimes I said too much, and then I had to kind of backtrack a couple of times. So it is what it is.
We'll go to the break on that. There is news out of our nation's capital that you need to hear, and you will hear it next. Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Billy.
Yes.
Is that like breaking news sounder stuff? What was that?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Goes back from the 80s.
I don't know how breaking this news is. Did this come out today?
Sort of last night. The new owner of the Washington Commanders, Josh Harris. This guy paid over $6 billion for this team to get it away from Daniel, Mr. Small Stuff
Snyder.
Wow. Yes. Came out last night, and I guess he was asked at some sort of a speech he gave, what about going back to the name Redskins? And his answer was, that ship has sailed. Well, there has been a ton of speculation that they were going back to the Redskins, and he kind of shot that down. And, you know, you've got people on both sides of this issue. I would be one right now who's saying, go back to it.
Please.
Quickly.
Very fast.
So what do you think has gotten to him to go there?
A little bit of cash. Can't do it. They're probably going to do something. You know, the NFL is going to, I'm sure Roger Goodell and all those guys are going to say something to him, said he can't do that. I kind of wish they would go back, and I don't know. I just, last year I called them when I was on Willie's show doing the silly underdog picks. I called them the Redskins, and, you know, I felt it heartwarming when a couple of weeks ago you called them Washington Redskins, and you knew
absolutely.
you were calling them Washington Redskins. Yeah. So I totally wish they would go back. I just think all this stuff where changing names, you know, that Cleveland Guardians. I mean, they're the Cleveland Indians in my mind. They've been that way my whole life. So have the Redskins. I think all that's just it's overrated by what they did. I don't know. I'm with you, George.
So you bring up an interesting point that Goodell would be in the middle of this. And I guess I would tell old Roger the Dodger, look, I paid $6 billion for this. If you'd like to shell out $6 billion and buy it from me, then you can make the decision.
Yeah, but you know the stuff that happened with the Clippers and all that stuff. You got and I know that was things that the owner said. I mean, I totally understand that, but this I don't know if this goes in along with it. But all the other owners of the league are going to, they're going to get up against you. They're all going to come together. They're going to collude, as you talked about.
Collude.
Yeah, they're going to
love
collude. They're going to collude with all the other owners, and they're going to bring it up to Roger Goodell, and they're going to try to get you out. I mean, they're going to make you have a fire sale on the Washington Commanders, Redskins. That's just the way life is in 2023, George.
$6 billion.
$6 billion.
So if they could collude in that meeting about the Redskins, why could they not collude about running backs?
They have colluded about running backs, but nobody cares, George. Yes, they have.
Okay.
I mean, I told you that. I mean, there's no question that all these guys colluded and talked to each other. But if you actually think that running backs are going to present a lawsuit because of that, it's not ever going to happen.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
$12 million. They're getting $12 million a year, man.
Okay. Let's get some quick answers from you. You ready?
Yes.
Alabama or Texas?
In Tuscaloosa, the Tide.
Bingo. A&M Miami. In Miami.
Which doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, I've got it for one of my underdog picks, but I still think Texas A&M will win it.
Interesting. Auburn Cal.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, George. I'm gonna have to say them, and I can't believe I'm saying this because they're, and Peter Sherman, your boy Peter Sherman is the defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and one of his better players is his son, who had 104 tackles last year.
He sure is. He's a terrific player. Yeah,
they've got some good players on that team. Plus the ride out there, getting used to a different time zone. I'm going to go with the Cal Bears.
Okay. Ole Miss Tulane. This is the last one.
Ole Miss.
Have you seen Tulane?
I have. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Tulane is a good team. I do get that, but I just think that I think Ole Miss's running game. They've got three guys at that position that can run the football, and I think that will kind of be the determining factor in that game. So I think Ole Miss will win it.
Fourth quarter. It might be tight, but the Rebels pull away in the fourth quarter.
I think so.
Doesn't work out. We'll put this on tape. To go with all of my misses, we'll have one of y'all as well. Okay. After the break,
real quick though, George, UNC receiver Tez Walker, who it was supposed to be a huge player for them this year.
Yeah.
The NCAA has denied his appeal. So he will not be playing this year.
They are so mad at the world that they are taking it out on this kid.
I mean, what are we doing? I don't know. But you know what? They always say it's for the kids. We're doing this for the kids, really?
No question we are.
Yeah, and they also said that about the new clock rules. It's just more commercials. It's ridiculous.
There is some truth to that, and maybe I need to tape one of these and just see how many are getting run, because I think you're on to something there.
I mean, it's so many games. There's games that haven't been affected by it, but a lot of games have been really affected by it.
Oh, yeah. Attaboy.
Oh, dinero, baby.
Yes.
Mucho dinero.
Cabbage. After the break, stat of the day, and then underdog picks. Can you say donut hole? I can. Stick around.
Embarrassing.
Oh, like you'd do any better.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. So who said I can't be a golfer? Well, you know what? This is X Golf, located just down the road from the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is fun. It'll improve your golf game, and you need to stop in and check it out. 8138 Sawyer Brown Road, and who knows, I may get to 200 before it's all over.
All right, I'm here with my buddy Chip Ward from Lincoln Home Loans. And Chip, it's football season, and it feels like it's moving season every time of the year, especially here in Nashville. Tell us about your business, Chip, and kind of introduce people to who you are and what you do here in the Nashville area.
Well, you're exactly right, Billy. It is definitely moving season, as it is most times, especially right here after Labor Day. Kids are back in school, and people are starting to think they want to get settled in before the holidays. And so what we are doing is right now we are getting a lot of people pre-approved for home loans. Inventory has ticked up a little bit. You know, it has been down, but it's rebounding a little bit. And right now is a good time to buy.
Chip, real quick before I let you go, tell people how they can reach you. And if someone is interested in your business, how would they reach out to you?
Well, sure. At Lincoln Home Loans, you can reach me at 615-500-7579. My URL for my application page is chipward.net, and my email address is simply chip@chipward.net. And so I'd love to hear from anybody. I can answer any questions about the whole home buying and financing process.
Top of the hour on a Thursday. You know what time it is. It's time for Underdog Picks. But first, a little stat of the day action brought to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards out in Shelbyville, Tennessee. They're open during the week, Tuesday through Friday from noon to 5, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Give them a call, 931-492-4304. All right, we've got help if you guys need it today. So we've got Greg Pogue and Willie Donick waiting in the wings, but we'll start with the question. Last season, Patrick Mahomes became the first player to win both MVP and the Super Bowl in the same season since what player?
You know what, Kelly? Let's just turn it over to these two.
I agree. I've got an answer, but I agree.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure that Pogie's not on a cricket.
Pogie, you appear to be back in civilization.
Well, yeah, I am sorry that I live off the plantation. I do. I just need. I get off the grid, man. I get off the grid. You guys can play in the internet world. I go off the grid, man. Just forage my food, hunt it and skin it right there in my front yard. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you have a restroom facility, or do you just go next to a tree?
Where I live, I can go anywhere I want to go.
Can you really?
Yes,
and
not like the neighbors would see anyway, but whatever.
And let's bring Willie up, who we learned earlier today is celebrating his 30th anniversary as a radio sports talk show host.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Willie.
Are we talking about
lighting
this
there?
again? George, are we talking about this again or what?
Oh, I think we've got to. Willie, where's the lighting?
I thought I put better lighting on. I don't know what's going
we
on.
can't see you.
Look at George's lighting compared to yours.
It's not good. We need a lighting sponsor.
We can't even see
Absolutely
that. We
work
can't
on
even
that.
see that shiny head of yours, Hoss.
So, okay, enough.
Tell
of the,
Aaron to put on her phone camera light. Okay.
Well, okay. Aaron, could you put on your phone camera light? Okay.
Oh, wow.
See what we can do.
Wow. Okay, so what's the answer? Pogie, what's your answer?
I would go probably Joe Montana.
Joe Montana. Willie?
I am going to go with Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes three of us. Let's see it.
Kurt Warner.
Warner.
Wow.
99 season.
Oops.
Really?
Yeah.
Who they beat?
At 99?
Yeah, who they beat?
I was there.
Two-tone blue.
Yes,
I was
they
there.
certainly did. Are we now officially ready for underdog picks?
We are.
Okay. Let me say up front that we have made a decision, and this was Billy's idea. Billy has a lot to work on back there with all that machinery. He has asked me to essentially run things. So don't read anything into that.
What? Whoa.
Hold on. I can still, I can still be the commissioner, George.
It just boils down that you're not commissioner tight, Billy. Let's just throw it out there.
And Plaster is?
Well, he's better than Billy. I mean, he's been in it longer.
Billy, are you now backtracking from something you said to me last week?
Not backtracking. I just maybe relieved.
Well, what the hell would you call
relieved
it?
of some certain
You said,
duties.
George, you need to take all this and do it. And I said, fine. So what would you call it?
I've got the graphics. When the games are said,
I
will.
Does the word bait and switch?
Maybe
Perhaps?
a little bait and switch.
So I will begin, as I was asked to do last week, with last week's results, which produced nothing.
Nada.
Willie,
Nada.
let's start with you. Your corn shuckers gagged. Your reaction?
Bitterness. They had it. They should have won. They had first and goal at the 1 after it looked like to me at the end of the first half, the guy had crossed the plane. They reviewed it. I thought it was going to be a touchdown. Instead, they get it at the half-yard line and throw an interception. That was kind of the story of the night. The guy from Minnesota made an unreal catch, one that I don't think I've quite ever seen a guy do.
That was amazing.
It was an amazing catch to tie it up. But Nebraska, same old. What is that, 26 one-score losses?
God.
So in 5 years. So the change into the coach has not changed the mojo in that area yet. So
let me say this, though. I got a feeling Matt Rule went in and peeled some paint when it was over and said, this is the last time it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think he's going to have them on the right track, though. I think he's going to win.
Okay. Kelly.
Boy, that was a long explanation for a loss.
Very bitter.
My God.
Very bitter. I just wanted to show Greg my passion for this contest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That was an interesting answer.
There's no bounds.
Kelly, your team, a former broadcast partner of mine, Georgia Tech, led 28-13 at halftime, and then apparently you turned on the television and started watching, thus the result.
I totally agree with that, George. I did cut on the TV. I don't ever watch those games, and you could just tell the way that it was going that Georgia Tech was outmatched in the second half. They got outcoached. They scored 28 points in the second quarter, and then they come out, and it was just my thing always is I picked the wrong one. Let's just move on.
And then Poggy, we go.
Well, no. I think that Kelly, after hearing Willie, that is very refreshing. Good job.
Thanks, Poggy. It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Poggy, who, of course, on Monday, or was it Tuesday, was not able to tell us about his trip to Notre Dame. So, Poggy, in 45 seconds or less, get to the Notre Dame trip. And by the way, you lost with UConn.
I understand. And I like my pick, by the way. Northern Illinois was in that game all the way up to the end. And so I was proud of my pick too, Kelly. I'm not even going to explain it anymore. Yeah, I mean, doing a broadcast at Notre Dame. Yeah, I looked more as a business trip, but when I sort of got in a little bit of wow during it, then a little bit of the pregame when I was talking with Howard Gentry about just what it meant. And it was a cultural thing. This was a 4-day thing. And I've never seen a marching band, the Aristocrata bands. I've never seen a band get a standing ovation from the opposing fans. And so it was really because the first time Notre Dame had ever played an HBCU, and they made it a thing, and the score inconsequential. Yeah, I actually thought TSU was pretty encouraging. Sam Hartman, man. Notre Dame, we'll see a week from tomorrow with Ohio State, but Notre Dame's got a shot to put themselves in that picture.
Okay, and then we get to the last one. Willie, double bitterness.
Oh.
Toledo. We need a stop. 4th and 4, and Illinois pulls one out of there. You know what? I deserve to win that one.
I thought you had it. When that quarterback, Kelly, I don't know if you saw the play on 4th and 4. It was the play of the game. The end comes in so hard. I'm sure the quarterback did not see the receiver. He just threw it up. It was truly a Hail Mary, but it ended up being a perfect pass, and the receiver made a great play on the ball to keep the drive alive. But Toledo played a really good game. They led for a lot of it. I thought they should have won.
Yeah, I'm not watching Toledo and Illinois. I'm sorry, Willie. Sorry.
Kelly just does not have passion for this contest, George. He just doesn't.
I know.
Turn it
Kelly,
up.
what do you watch? You're a little bit of a football snob.
MTSU.
No. I was in Troy. I didn't get to see it. I was at the Troy game.
That's fair.
Okay.
Fair.
I don't get to see all those games.
Right.
I'm watching my son hold up a sign right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I don't understand why the sign said "will work for food." So I'd like to review the standings. Willie, let's start with you.
Like it?
That was very nice.
And the stock going down.
Willie, you are 0-1, and how many points do you think you have?
0-1 for a total of 0 points.
0 points it is. Kelly, you are 0-1. How many points do you think you have?
We all know that answer, George. 0.
Poggy, you are 0-1. You, of course, were traveling long distances, so this may be difficult. How many points do you think you have?
And we can't hear Poggy.
Oh.
George, I'll answer. It's the same amount as Mr. Blutarski his grade point average at the Delta House.
0.0. So Poggy's just sitting there yapping away. We're not hearing any of it. Is he back with us?
Can't hear him for some reason.
Oh, this is a tragedy. So the order of picking this week goes as follows. Your director, that's me, will pick first. Willie, on your 30th radio anniversary, you will pick second. Hopefully you're making more money than you did back then. Kelly, you will pick third. And Pogu, you will pick last.
Well, it's to give him the most time to get his mic situated.
He's going
Absolutely.
to have to do hand signals.
Absolutely. Look, this is not going to get it done. No, that's not going to get it done. We'll go to the break, and then we'll get all of your selections week number 2 of the Underdog picks It's coming up right after this. Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
The George Plaster Show is Nashville's best sports talk, 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. There's a podcast version available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser-engraved Yeti cups, and knives. Recognize your hard-working team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs. Okay, as we get ready for week number 2 of the Underdog picks, let's get a couple of notes in there. The most important being, Pogie, can we hear you?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was just flabbergasted by Willie explaining your loss. Anyway.
Pogie, I know that you would like to take a moment and congratulate Willie on his 30th anniversary.
Yeah, I saw the disaster starting, tried to point him the other direction, but yeah, he's like all of us. He I don't know. Congratulations. By the way, I've been married 35 years as of Monday. What about that?
What the hell's wrong with her?
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody for everybody, ain't it, Pogie?
Well, you know, what do you do?
So, Willie, I wouldn't describe Pogie's little statement there as particularly heartwarming. So let's go to Kelly. Kelly, what would you like to say to Willie?
I've already said it. I mean, congratulations, Willie. But I mean, let's move on now. I mean, you've been on for 30 years. Everybody knows that. You do a really good job. You're really good at what you do. But I mean, y'all were getting nostalgic on the radio. And I mean, I thought we were going to have a moment of silence or crying and wailing in the background. And congrats, Willie. Congrats. You've done great.
As a matter of fact, you should be in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame right alongside George. So maybe he'll get that done since he's on the board of directors of the organization that honored him.
Wow.
No pressure.
Willie, it looks like we have improved lighting.
Well, slightly improved. I think my lighting is right on par with Pogie's mic.
Yeah.
Coming and going.
But hey, well, I can't see you. You can hear me.
Right.
It works out better that way. Here we go. I have the first pick.
What? How am I last?
I'll tell you in a minute, Hoagie. Oh, sort of the Geritol version of the tomahawk chop.
I was going to say, is Billy playing the organ? Is that like a home organ he's got on that?
No, unfortunately not.
Billy, where did we get that? Out of Shady Pines?
Sources.
Yes. So, gentlemen, much as we did on a radio show earlier today, we are going to take the Baylor Bears, and it is a book it. And I want to ask you all a question. Baylor is coached by Dave Aranda. Does he not look exactly like James Carville?
It's really messed up, George.
Who's that?
No, he doesn't.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Hey, who's that, Willie? He's on your side of the aisle. Just figure it out.
No, that was Billy who asked that.
Oh, okay.
What in the hell?
Am I supposed to know who that is? Or?
James, Willie, help him.
Willie, will you get on YouTube and look stuff up, dude, before you talk? Grow up, dude.
Hey, listen, I know who William Shakespeare is, and I wasn't alive 300 years ago.
Yeah, because
Billy
it's in the history book when you're in elementary school.
Yeah.
Billy doesn't, though. He asks stupid questions a lot of times.
Billy, you're taking
I can see the commissioner thing sort of slipping through your hands, Billy.
And I'm
He's taking on some water.
The
with
boat
this
has some
Carville
water.
thing. You need to check that one out. Willie is now front and center stage.
Give me a second for the music.
Oh,
Willie, hype us up a little bit.
Hey, Willie, you're next.
Billy, what are we doing? What are you getting paid for, Billy?
Hit the post. Hit the post.
I mean, you
Well,
just
give
took
us-
the commissioner. You told George to be the commissioner so you could do all the stuff backstage, and now you can't even do that. What are we paying you for?
To produce the show.
You've taken on water.
Billy, I mean,
coming off.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Ride up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall.
Everybody's coming down, George.
It all works until you go to the bullpen.
Yeah, well, and that fade of that sounds like the Mets. They've been just faded on out. Too bad they couldn't buy it.
It was a great pitching matchup last night. Two guys the Mets are paying very, very heavily not to pitch for the Mets. Max Scherzer versus Justin Verlander last night for the Astros in Texas.
And one of them gave up 11.
Yeah, Max Scherzer, it was not a good night. Texas is hurting a little bit there. They are hurting bad.
Yeah. They're taking the gas.
All right, so this is what I got week 2. I'm going to go out to a team with the chip on their shoulder, the Washington State Cougars. They who knows what the future holds for them, but they're not bad. They beat Wisconsin in Madison last year. and they're a home dog this year out there. So I'm saying, give me the Cougs from Wazoo. In honor of our buddy Scott Sanderson.
Nice. I know we'd appreciate that.
Former Titan.
So, Billy, as commissioner, are you looking up point spreads or am I?
I am.
Okay.
Wazoo, 6-point underdog against Wisconsin. So, and then your pick, Baylor, is an 8-point underdog against Utah.
Yes, and mine is a book it.
Oh, well,
it's
look
going to
out.
work.
Oh, who cares, George?
Wow.
The
Not
Poggy.
a lot of respect out of the panel today.
A lot of disrespect.
Yeah. Kelly, for better or for worse, likely worse, you are next.
I got a shotgun, a rifle, and a four-wheel drive, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. I can plow a field all day long.
Yeah, whatever.
See, Hank. Can I ask a question before Kelly picks? Kelly hadn't lived in the country in 30 years.
I'm still in the county in Murfreesboro here, Hoss.
You're not. How many acres of tobacco do you have out there?
Now the city is all around me, but I hadn't been annexed into the city. I'm still in the county, Hoss.
Are you saying his idea of roughing it is a night?
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, he hadn't lived in the country in 30 years. I don't want to hear it.
I do not live out there where you cannot get a signal. I do not live out that far. That's for sure.
Yeah, all the way out there, just outside of Smyrna. Yep.
Yeah, 840, baby. I know where you go.
Yeah.
I get this. This is a hard deal for me because I don't know if I should. George picked the same team last week and he did it again this week. I guess I'm going to do the same. Give me the UAB Blazers to beat Georgia Southern. I have a disdain for Georgia Southern, as I said on the radio. I've still got quite a few teeth particles on the field down there, so I really don't like those guys.
Was that the monsoon playoff game?
It was not. That was not Hurricane Hugo. That was a few years later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so UAB plus 7.5 against Georgia Southern. That one is in Statesboro, so they'll be tough for the Blazers. But Dilfer, they looked good their first game, so
let's go, Trent.
Trent Dilfer trying to get a big one. All right, last but certainly not least, Greg Pogue.
Is that Bernie Brewer singing?
Yeah, Bernie. Yeah, well, I don't know. They've lost 3 in a row, and the Cubs have won 3 in a row, so it's like 1.5 right now. So anyway, but I like my team. I like my team.
What do you like about your team?
Pitching.
Okay.
I think they got the top 5 rotation in the league. They're playing Nashville Sounds like they start 3 rookies a game, and we could have been watching this team that's in first place last year at Nashville. So yeah, and I didn't, I'm there. I will be. I'm there. I haven't never left.
Do you like that they picked up Josh Donaldson?
I did. Is that today? I haven't seen that. Well, that must have been today.
He's playing for the Sounds this weekend.
He's playing for the Sounds
right
now.
Okay, this week. Okay, yeah. No, okay, yeah. I didn't know. I do like they picked up Carlos Santana and they picked up your guy Willie from the Mets.
Mark Cannon.
Yeah, Mark Cannon, and he's lighting it up. So no, I'm happy with my team. They're relevant. Hey, that's all I need. So.
Yeah. Who cares? Pick a winner.
Let's see if the pick is relevant.
Really? I'm going with the Vanderbilt Commodores plus the 10 at Wake Forest.
Ooh.
Wake Forest, I mean, without Sam Hartman, they're back to being middle of the pack in the ACC. I think Vandy has. I know they started slow in these games, blah, 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 but I'd say Vandy's athletes are every bit as good. Will Shepherd on the outside is the best player on the field. And so I'm taking your Commodores, Willie, and And George plus the 10.
Is that a book it?
No, I don't book it. That's child's play.
I have noticed that the line has come down a little bit. It was 13 or 14.
Right.
10, 11.
Is it a 10, Billy? I saw 10 a little while
10.
ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is 10.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
started out at 13. Yeah.
And interesting, thunderstorms are expected. 70% chance of rain in Winston-Salem for a 10 a.m. Central Time kickoff.
10 a.m. Central. I think that favors the road team, Kelly. Playing those early games like that. You get out of your own bed. I think you're better off playing an early game on the road because you're in the routine.
I would much rather play an early game than a later game. There's nothing worse than sitting in a hotel when you got a 7 o'clock game. Get up, get going. Let's go play some football.
Yeah. But isn't that harder? Yeah, harder on the home team though, because all of them are waking up in their own bed, and where Vandy is in that routine of, hey, here, pre-games at 7, this, that, whatever. You got curfew, all those different things and I know Wake Forest will put their team at a hotel like all the road teams, all the home teams do at that level. But I don't know. I just think the Commodores have a really good shot.
All right, Togi, that was some really interesting bed analysis. Thank you.
Commentary, yes.
Hey, I'll say this. Poggi gave the best reasoning for his pick out of anybody.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah.
What is that supposed to mean? I thought mine was damn good.
Why are you talking right now?
He gave a full explanation of where they sleep, how they prepare.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I liked it.
I thought you were the guy behind the scenes. I thought George is the commissioner now. It's better to be seen, not heard, dude.
Yeah, we got Billy commenting on us. We're the pros, okay?
No, I don't know. I will say this for Billy. He's taken on some water in this segment that I don't think coming into it, Billy, that you thought you were in any real danger. But
No.
Kelly has dusted you.
Yes.
There's just. Would you like to review? Because I get the feeling you'd like this segment to be over.
Yeah, let's review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do.
George started us off with the Baylor Bears after losing to Texas State last week. They return home to play Utah. They are
James Carville.
They are 8-point underdogs, and George is riding with the Baylor Bears to upset Utah. Willie took Washington State +6 against Wisconsin. That is up in Pullman. So the flag will be flying high on game day. We'll see if Willie can pull through with Wazoo. Kelly rolling with Trent Dilfer's UAB Blazers +7.5 at Georgia Southern. That would be the biggest upset of the week. Well, not point spread wise, but I mean that's tough to go in there. Trent Dilfer early in his career, and then Pogue Vandy +10 against Wake Forest. That would be numbers wise the biggest upset.
Can I ask why am I last today? I was third last week. I mean,
Okay.
what am I? What can I do
You
it
go
first
from
like
third
once?
to fourth. Next week you'll be first. Quit your bitching.
I mean, grow up, Hoagie. Relax, dude. You're going to get your time in the sunshine.
What is your problem? I mean, since you have gotten on this show for 2 weeks, it has been nothing but complaints. We get you on, give you airtime Tuesday. You're out in Uganda where nobody can hear you. What is going on?
I'm in menopause. I don't know.
Well, good luck on that.
It's male menopause. That's what I'm going through right now.
You've got it.
Pogie,
All right.
good luck with that. Gentlemen, good luck with your picks this weekend.
Pogie,
see ya.
Where's TSU this week?
Southern Heritage Classic against down at Liberty Bowl. They put about 50,000 in there with calling the game with Chris Sanders. That's a treat. So, yeah.
It's the same press box I worked out of. Same little.
Little cubby hole. Yeah.
Ooh.
And they
Willie?
wanted an NFL team.
They sure did. Willie, 30 years, and in spite of Kelly's negativity, which was totally uncalled for, I am very proud of you.
Well, thank you, George. I appreciate it, and I mean, you gave me the window to get in there, and it's been a long time. It is interesting to reminisce, but I'm not going to go on too long because Kelly will start complaining again.
I mean, next time, pay the light bill, Hoss. Let's go. I mean, get some more lighting.
Hey, Billy, 25 years from now, George will tell you happy 30th.
We'll see.
I'll be in the home somewhere. Willie, if you feel that strongly that I helped you, now's the time to send a check. We'll go to the break. Kelly, you're not going anywhere. We'll be back with Plaster's Bet of the Day, which will the National Football League. Stick around.
Okay.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between. Discover what Hit City has to offer. Single game tickets are on sale now.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Final segment on a Thursday. The NFL starts tonight. Lions in Kansas City, 7:20 tonight on NBC. But first, Plaster's Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to bartdurham.com. And Kelly, he keeps finding a way to win. The Astros pulled it out last night. I mean, it's going to take a while for him to get back to even 500.
I don't know if he is. I mean, I don't know if he is, Billy. I mean, he's doing really well. You got to give it to him. He knows his stuff.
He learned after some failures last year.
Hold on. I finished over 500 last year.
Yeah, but at this point last year, you were taking in some water,
sucking wind.
Yeah.
So you want me to? Well, there it is. Thanks for allowing me to build it up.
Do we have a pick, George?
Yes, we do have a pick, but allow me to build it up.
Well, I was waiting, and then
you just. Kelly, that's pilot error.
There's been a lot of error today, George. There really has. And another thing that I'm disgruntled about is why is he commenting so much on my silly underdog pick? Like, I don't need it, Billy. I mean, just say the point spread and just tell everybody I don't need it's going to be a tough one down in Statesboro and all the we don't need that, dude. Just call out the point spread.
It is going to be a tough one.
I know, but we don't need that from you, dude. Sit in the background and just silence.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So this one I have really agonized over.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a part of me sitting there saying, okay, Kansas City, they are the world champions for a reason. And part of that reason is every time you think they've got, that you've got them backed into a corner, Patrick Mahomes will do something that human beings just shouldn't be able to do. He's that good. If Kelsey isn't playing, that's a huge loss for him. Mm-hmm. The other side is Chris Jones. And I don't care how you slice it. That is a huge loss for the Chiefs defense, period. And unless he signs a contract between now and 7:20 tonight, he's not going to be out there. Now, let's get to the Lions for a minute. The thing that impressed me the most about Dan Campbell's team was in the final week of the regular season, they had been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and they've still got a game that night. Remember, it was the Sunday night game in Green Bay, and if Green Bay had won, they get in the playoffs. The Lions went in there and shoved it down the Packers' throat. And Kelly, that tells me that coach has that locker room.
I think you're right, George. And there's been a lot of hype about the Detroit Lions this year, and I'm actually looking forward to what I think they're exciting to watch. And I think Jared Goff is playing really good. I think they all believe in him. There's a lot of trust that goes along with that. And I think they got some guys on offense and defense, and the Hutchinson guy from Michigan. They got some dudes that can rush the passer. We'll see what happens. But I think they rolled off 8 out of 10 last year to end the season. Yeah,
it was
crazy.
A big streak at the end. Anyway, I'm going to go Lions. I may regret it, but I got some faith in them. They could lose the game and still cover that number. That's the other thing. So I'm going to go Lions. We'll see how it works. Kelly, you won't be back with us until Monday, but our high school stuff has been hilarious. Last week at Nashville Christian was one of the most watched shows we have ever had, and it was a blast. Tomorrow we'll be at CPA, Christ Presbyterian Academy. They take on MBA, and that's an interesting matchup. Ingle Martin against the school that he was such a great athlete for. And Kelly, I think it's going to be a terrific atmosphere.
Well, you got two very good, very well-coached football teams with those two coaches. I mean, you got Marty Uverard at NBA. So and you talked about Ingle being from NBA. So that'll be a good I kind of missed those games when I was doing the Thursday night games, and now it's the Friday night rivals. But I went down when CPA when Jeff Fisher's son was playing, and they weren't near the type talented kids that they have right now. And Ingle's got it going. He's a really good coach, and so is Marty Uverard. They've been to the state championship quite a few times. That'll be a really good game, and get a little high school game day down there with you. Make sure Billy acts right, George. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure he acts right. Make sure he gets things. Make sure he's professional. Make sure he's dressed up. He's got all the cameras. He's got all the mics. He's got all the mics that he needs. Let's just make sure of that. We're trying to get this thing going somewhere, Billy. I mean, and I love you, man, but I mean, we gotta criticize you a little bit. Now, I'm sure you're gonna criticize me at some point in the coming weeks, but
you think?
It is
what it is.
There was a day a couple of weeks ago where I told Kelly asked a stupid question, but I might have to start back on him now after this.
Really?
Today's been
new strategy.
There were some jabs.
You took on some water.
There were some jabs.
Yeah. James Carville. I would suggest.
Look it up
tomorrow that you look him up.
I'll do more homework.
Help him a little, Kelly. You're the big.
He's in politics, big dog. That's just a little bit of crumble out there. Just he's in the Democratic wing. I mean, you just look it up, dude. Okay.
Got it.
Oh my goodness. Have a good weekend, Kelly. Rest well.
See y'all.
Billy?
Yep.
I'll see you tomorrow at CPA.
See you tomorrow.
Hope all of you will join us. We will begin the fun and frivolity at 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock hour will be back to the normal stuff, including a breakdown of the Titans, the New Orleans Saints, and Watson Browns take on what's going on with the Colorado Buffaloes. You're going to want to hear it. See you then.